welcome back to another Stuff and Things podcast. I'm your host, Christian Hawkins, and today we're going to be talking about a subject that I know a bit about. So going along the lines of the two other episodes that I've made, the one on Chainsaw Man and one on Jujutsu Kaisen, I figure out that we, switch it up a little and talk about MHA. So now I'm actually have a host that I know, but it is not particularly on this show a whole lot. So let me introduce you to
Noah Bousman.
Okay, so Noah over here has, I think, a fairly good grasp on MHA, or if you don't like acronyms, My Hero Academia. So let's start out with something that we like or we think is special about My Hero Academia. So I honestly think that the special guest's opinion should come first since you're new. So I'll give it to you, Noah.
So, I think what is special about MHA would be the amount of time and effort that they put into it. The fight scenes are amazing, and it must have taken a lot of time to animate it.
Yeah, I mean, just from the manga panels, it's crazy, even difficult to bro, why, how did you draw this? How did you draw this? Were you cheating? And I like to, for most manga illustrators, at least more younger ones, who try to draw manga but can't get into it, I like to pull out the quote that pretty much everybody must feel is from Tatsuki Fujimoto, which you may know as the author of Chainsaw Man. So he once said that when he compares himself to other manga artists, he feels like they must be cheating somehow, like they got to redo life over. And so that makes him try harder, that quote is actually pretty inspiring, but it kind of silhouettes to how hard manga and anime artists have to work and have to do, because I think maybe some of the legwork for anime has already been done on set by the manga, but yeah, so any more thoughts?
Well, I think what you said was actually really put into words. I don't know, I can't think right now.
Yeah. So my thoughts. So MHA is pretty much a breath of fresh air from traditional superhero comic book style. It is the antithesis to Marvel and DC. Now, as a Marvel and DC fan, I can sort of this is really cool what they do here. Because not only are the Japanese paying homage to something that Western comic book writers do, but they also do it in a manner that improves upon it. Unlike some Western comics who try to emulate anime and it doesn't work. So, moment of silence for that irony. But, just the simple fact of let's take Asui for some, Asui's the frog chick, right? And her ability, I wouldn't say it's avant-garde, but it's just you ask a simple question, what if a girl was a frog? And then dial up the creativity of that to 11. It doesn't really even have to be super complex like Midoriya's quirk or Bakugo's. You can just say, what if a person looked and had the abilities of a frog? And that's pretty much every single MHA character. The one tail guy. What if just a guy had a tail? Or what if Sero? What if one guy could just shoot tape out of his limbs? Which I know we share a fondness for Sero because Sero is
Mexican Spider-Man.
Mexican Spider-Man. So, wait, isn't he Indian?
I don't know.
He is. I think he's Indian.
Everybody calls him Mexican.
I think he's Indian. I think he's Indian.
He could be a mix. Because where are they getting the information that he's Mexican?
I don't know. People look at him, say he's Mexican, and don't really bother to watch the movie. I don't know.
Yeah, movies.
But So, and plus, okay, so I know a lot of people like MHA for the characters. I especially adore, Zero and Midoriya and, I forgot his name, Ida and Uraka, and I definitely love all those characters. And I can't understand the whole appeal to Bakugo a whole lot.
He is amazing.
He's not.
I love him.
He's not.
He's a little Pomeranian.
No.
He's a dog. He's adorable. But my main focus is on the villains.
Oh, yeah.
Because their backstories are just so sad and they're just so misunderstood.
I mean, yeah,
like, Shigaraki wanted to be a hero.
Yeah.
And so did Dabi. I don't know about Toga. It never says
Toga
anything
is
about
freaky, dude.
I mean, she was just a kid. Like she didn't know, that she would have eaten that bird.
Yeah. We all know that one scene.
But isn't it weird that her crush looked identical to Midoriya? But it's hard to see Midoriya beating someone else.
I mean, yeah. And I know a whole lot of people are like, yes, Midoriya is also the best because he's like a little pillow.
He is a little
he's a squishy little guy.
I know, but in the end, in the Vigilante arc, his smile is gone and it's so sad. Although he's still adorable.
He's adorable. He's adorable. And I see what the writer is trying to do there with Midoriya also being like this little squishmallow fella. But just the arc and journey that he goes through is like, it's chef's kiss. I really like, I'm a very basic person when it comes to just arcs. If your arc is the size of a hump, then I'll be excited for it. I think vanilla is a good flavor. Which it's not my favorite flavor, but it's a good flavor.
When did that come?
I don't know, because people we don't like vanilla.
I think strawberry cheesecake is my favorite.
What kind of flavor is that?
Strawberry cheesecake.
Okay, what does it taste like?
Strawberry cheesecake.
No, it doesn't.
It's more strawberry, but it does have the cheesecake, the crust pieces in it.
Whatever, we're not talking about ice cream. But Midoriya's whole arc with All Might, and it's a lot like Spider-Man and Tony Stark. With I genuinely think that the MCU kind of got that from My Hero Academia a little bit, just a smidge, or I don't really know which came out first. But I think maybe My Hero came out a little later, maybe, because I remember watching No Way Home in 2016. Also, don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that. I have terrible memory.
But I remember we never have seen Peter Parker as a child, so we don't know if he was obsessed with Iron Man as a kid.
Yeah. Again, okay, so to use that as a board, like a launch pad, that's kind of what separates My Hero Academia from the MCU, is that Midoriya and Peter Parker may have similarities, but they are two different characters. They have two different chemistries with their mentors. Iron Man is more of a annoyed dad who has to clean up after Peter's messes, while All Might is this proud father and wants Midoriya to become what he knows he can be, which I think is a lot more. I like that a little bit more rather than. Tony Stark is a phenomenal character, but I just like All Might's personality towards Midoriya a bit more. And just when he fights All For One, I think I actually cried a little. When he's pointing to people, specifically Midoriya, but he does it on live television, So it has like a live television, which it has like a double meaning to it. Like, yes, you have to be the new generation of the heroes, but Midoriya, you specifically, you are my successor.
You're my child.
You are my child. And that's really what I like about it. And also there's the motif of, again, okay, so I sort of want to go off a little bit of a trail with All Might and Endeavor. They have like the most satisfying rivalry ever. Endeavor's rivalry with All Might floods into so many characters. It defines his character, and it also defines Dabi and Todoroki's characters. Because, okay, so...
Including with Natsuo and Natsuki.
Yeah. They're not as prevalent characters, but yeah, they're still characters.
No, but Natsuo does... I know in the anime, in one of the episodes, he had a bit of a temper with Endeavor. Mm-hmm. And he punched the wall next to him.
Okay. But his rivalry with All Might literally defines one of the top 3 most liked characters. Like, if that is, like, everything connects. It's wonderful. I want to kiss the author's toes. I want to lay at his feet and grovel before his literary might. That's weird. I know it's weird. This is supposed to be weird. But yeah, any of your thoughts about? I know I laid a whole bunch at you, but.
I do have 2 topics that I want to get into.
Mm-hmm.
So, going back to the thing with All for One and Deku.
Mm-hmm.
If you look, I think there are some flashbacks in the manga so it shows that Deku's dad, who's across seas, allegedly, his hair is white, and if you look at the flashbacks for All for One, his hair is also white, and that goes into a bunch of theories about Dad for One and Dad for Two and stuff with Shigaraki, because Shigaraki was saved by someone with white hair, and it could all connect to Dad for Two. It's a little bit believable because there are some evidence. And to get into the second topic, the doctor that said that Deku did not have a quirk works for All for One.
Mm-hmm.
And All for One is known for stealing quirks, so
So you could Voldemort to Deku.
Yeah, but Deku could have had a quirk, but the doctor was able to take it from him with All for One's help.
I mean, yeah, that's a perfectly plausible theory. I sort of get the whole mentality between Dad for Two as well, but
yeah, in one of the anime episodes, Shigaraki actually has a full-on conversation with Deku.
Mm-hmm. Is it at the mall?
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
At the mall, and he does not seem that bothered.
Mm-hmm.
And one of Shigaraki's expressions looks like a younger brother asking or saying hey, you're my favorite sibling. Can I have some money? It's like that. But he's older than him, so
technically
by 5 years.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. So since he didn't have a quirk for 5 years,
mm-hmm.
They could have taken Deku's quirk and given it to him.
Okay. I mean, yeah.
Because I know All for One did share quirks with Shigaraki.
Mm-hmm.
So that could have happened.
Yeah. So, I mean, all the lore and the little tiny story details is really, really neat. And there's not a whole lot of manga that pull off that really well. I know Dragon Ball specifically doesn't really do that all that well. I mean, Akira Toriyama, no shade to him, absolutely none, like, is really good. Like, Dragon Ball is probably like the most influential manga / animes of all time. But what I noticed distinctly lacking, and this is no fault of its own, but there's not a whole lot of anticipation or story building that is the center focus of that story. It is mainly just an episodic shonen battle manga, which, yes, in all fairness, so is MHA. MHA is literally supposed to be part of a serialized battle manga-centric magazine for boys. So, I mean, yes, plenty of girls read it too, but I mean, it's called shonen, so the target audience is boys.
Weekly shonen.
Yeah, weekly shonen. And that's actually what confuses me a whole bunch, because shonen like has a whole bunch of other magazines, which kind of confuses me, but whatever.
But so when you said it was targeted to boys, and plenty of girls.
Yeah, plenty of girls. Plenty.
Like, I mean, there is a lot of like feminist characters in there.
Yeah.
So
I mean, let's take Midnight for example. Now, before you beat me with the horny stick, Midnight, her whole spiel about like even her entire costume is to just be proud that you're of a certain sex.
yeah, same with like
Momo?
with Momos.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's just like the other girls who are like not as like
Yeah. Like Asui, or
yeah.
I would say
They're
Ochako
they're
as
not
well.
as showy.
Yeah. I mean, there is a degree of fan service in MHA, a degree. I know a lot of people would like to beat it with, you're a bad manga because you show boobs. And I'm like, no, you're not. I mean, believe me, I've watched so much anime at this point that fan service is just kind of integrated into it, like, sort of naturally. And there's a whole, I mean, you can look at the topics of fan service. I mean, it's quite interesting, but it works for some parts of the thing and it doesn't work for others. Midnight works while some of the training camp scenes, specifically the one with Mineta trying to get up the wall to the other side of the girls' baths, doesn't really work. Honestly, you could cut that and like nothing would change.
Yeah.
But
Although he does get better towards the end.
Mineta,
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to picture him being better because his whole thing is being a creep, but whatever.
I mean, he got the highest score in the thing.
The support test?
Yeah, before the school.
Okay, so like when they go to like get their
Like
hearing license?
Their score to see if they're like let in the school.
Okay.
Like he got the highest.
Are we talking about Mineta?
Yeah.
Okay. The little ball guy. Because
Yes.
I don't think that's
Mr. Grape.
I don't think. I mean, Todoroki and Momo, I think, would be like, or Ida, but Mineta.
Did we just go into ships?
No. Like the scores, not
You
ships.
said
Oh shit.
Todoroki and Momo.
No.
Or Ida.
Okay, no. I'm talking about like scores. Like scores to get into school. But whatever.
I was actually gonna go into ships next.
Okay.
Like which are like okay, and then like the gray area, and then like no.
Okay, so we can discuss that next.
Yeah.
So, ships for me, it's okay to have a certain degree of shipness in your series. Like, I get that some people want, like, for example, Denji and Riz to be a thing. I don't get that, but whatever. So there's if you have a certain degree of shipping, then that shows like your fan base is at least healthy or growing. But when it goes to the certain point of some MHA fans or most of the fandom, it kind of walks a fine line, like a really teeny tiny tightrope, because there's just kind of ooey stuff like Bakugo's mom and Deku's mom. Like,
They're best friends.
I mean, they're best friends. That's fine, but like when we're shipping them.
Yeah, not really.
Okay, and I'm not even going to, not because like I think it's wrong or bad.
And they both have husbands.
Yeah, they both.
They're both still married.
Yeah. So, and the whole Deku and Bakugo thing, it's fine.
Yeah, it's tolerable if they still have like the relationship of like angry and like calm. Because I can see that. I could see like Deku being able to calm Bakugo down.
Yeah, and I sort of like a bit more Ochaku and Deku, even though that's a little bit basic, but
Yeah.
But I mean, it's kind of implied heavily, very heavily.
One of the ships that is kind of in the middle of like totally wrong and gray area is Toga and Araka. It's a villain and a hero.
Yeah, I don't.
I mean, I know Araka would do anything for money. Like, she would even freaking steal.
Oh, geez.
Like, she would do anything. But, like, Toga?
Yeah, I don't.
Araka would do villainous stuff to get money. But
Yeah, but I think she's honestly too much of a good person to do that. So, has there been a ship between Ida and Momo? Because I think that's kind of cute, honestly.
No, but there's Ida and Todoroki. It's okay.
I don't necessarily see that out of all the time that
I know, but Momo and Todoroki is good.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool.
And then, like...
They had a lot of chemistry when they were fighting Aizawa.
And when Momo was, like, creating a thing in front of, like, Denki and Jiro actually, like covered her. But there was, like, some blush on her face. So that has started to become a ship. I think that's pretty cute.
Yeah, that's cute.
It's cute. And then, like...
Wait, remind me who Jiro is.
Earphone Jack.
Oh, yes, okay. That's kind of cute, yeah.
Yeah, and then there's, like, two with Denki. The Denki and Shinso and Denki and Jiro.
Okay. I mean, yeah. I mean, okay, so I usually have a bestest boy for, like, every manga. Chainsaw Man is, Beam, which he's, like, the shark guy. The one for Jujutsu Kaisen, I think, is Toto or Gojo. This one, I think, is... What was his name? Sero?
Sero.
Like, Sero is just a delight whenever he's, like, on a panel, or...
I can see him, like, just being able to, like, tape Minetta's mouth shut whenever he wants. Like, he has the permission from Aizawa.
Yeah, and...
I think the bestest boy is, like... Or, I guess in this case, the girl would be Eri.
Eri?
Yeah, she's adorable.
I mean, yeah. The fandom seems to overurge her a little too much, but that's beside the point.
Yeah, she's adorable.
She's adorable. You're gonna put her in a little...
Wrap her in a blanket.
You know what I mean? She's like...
Oh, I do really like Eraser Mike.
Yeah, I can see that.
Then, like, Shinso and Eri are the kids.
Yeah. I also like, was it Miss Joke and Eraserhead? That's kind of cute.
I do like Natsuki and Muriel.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. Any wrapping final comments?
Not that I can think of.
So my personal opinion for MHA, it is definitely one of my top 5. I would want to read every volume if I could. I would also want to watch all of the anime. Not to the point where I would want a figurine or a bunch of waifus in my house to
I do
worship
have a
over.
poster of Todoroki just for fun,
Yeah, that's just for fun.
and then like just Jujutsu Kaisen behind my bed.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not the extent to like some.
Like a waifu, like
Yeah.
fucking pillow.
Yeah, there was actually one
Pillow.
person. There was a person who had like an entire church dedicated to like this one Danganronpa character, which is crazy. But for what makes MHA really, really unique is that it doesn't really follow any of the stigmas of normal comic book like order. Like in some things, Marvel, you have to keep the continuity, or characters have to act a certain way to fall in line, or like you just throw your hands up in the air and just don't care about any of it, and that just confuses fans. And so that's really why I like manga so much, is that it's by one guy. There's just one guy doing it, and that also centers continuity, but it also allows him to just do whatever he wants with it. It's his creation. It doesn't really matter whether you like it or not. And I think the Western comic books are us in like America and Europe need to sort of follow that example, because we have brilliant masterpieces like Jujutsu Kaisen, Chainsaw Man, MHA, Dragon Ball. I would honestly think some bangers like Tokyo Ghoul, and
I do like The Promised Neverland, but it is a little too short.
sadly it did get like cut off.
Yeah.
And even more so with like, okay, maybe not to the extent of some manga, but like even just slice of life and just, I wouldn't just call it relationship manga, but sort of just like shoji manga. We could learn a lot from those. And yeah, the Japanese are weird little guys. They like to do stuff that maybe not be so okay, like the excessive use of, again, fan service. And maybe they could dial back maybe some of the pervy jokes, but that's really it. So, in my opinion, My Hero Academia is like a pillar of manga. It's not really something that can be compared to Chainsaw Man or Jujutsu Kaisen, but it can definitely is its own solid work of manga. All right. So, all that considered, I really enjoyed making this episode. I also really liked doing it with you, Noah. I'm glad you decided to come on. All right. So, a little bit of wrap up. So, again, if you want to see more like this, and if you want to hear me yap about anime or manga, then just suggest something, or you could just tell me that you want to see more. It really helps because we're at almost 2K views overall, and we have 52 subscribers, or 53 last time I counted. So we really appreciate you guys doing this and pushing us forward. And also we appreciate some of the international viewers that may be watching this. I have no idea because I don't know who you people are, but all that to say, I really appreciate you guys encouraging us to do this, and I also really appreciate that you want us to do it because we want to do it. All right, so that's all for right now. Like, subscribe, or dislike if you want to, if you feel like it. Comment, share with a bunch of people, lots of people. So, all right. So I'll see you in the next episode when I feel like it. All right, bye.